the subject of emotion is so essential that unless I can explain it to you, and 330 million Americans, we are going to lose our country. The subject of emotions, that's the subject I'm going to pick. And it's a subject that all of you have heard, but never have registered it in you immediately. Let me see if I can say this. Just to quote a scripture, and then we'll take questions and we'll discuss this. He says, become perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Do you think God has emotions? Does he really need emotions? What the hell is emotion? It is a feeling. It's a driving force. If you sit on a hot stove, you got a feeling. That's good, because that way you'd never get off the stove and you have fried butt for dinner.
That's a good thing to talk about.
But you see, look, I like to make be lighthearted and not morbid. Otherwise, you'd run out of this house, you see, this room. And you'll pardon my voice. I have a bit of a cold. Really, never had a cold for years and years and years and years. So sooner or later, it's got to catch up with me. I'm not perfect. But I deal with it perfectly. See, I'm not perfect, but I deal with things perfectly. Absolutely flawless and perfect. Because I don't have any emotions. I'm like Dr. Spock. What's that movie?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. He's got no emotions. He's the only one that had any intelligence. You have emotions, you don't have any intelligence. You can look like you have intelligence because you have the knowledge of good and evil. And so if you have the knowledge of good and evil, what more do you want? To be a scumbag. Because they're both wrong. The knowledge of good is just as bad as the knowledge of bad. They're no damn good. So what is missing? Intuitiveness. What is intuitiveness? Is that nobody needs to teach you anything. No one can control you. No one can upset you. No one can lift you up and say, what a wonderful person you are. Oh, thank you. See? So how do you get rid of your emotions? Well, emotions, you don't come into the world with emotions. A 2-year-old child or a 1-year-old child that's capable of being aware of his surroundings is innocent. And he's innocent because he has no emotions. He's not been emoted yet. And the minute he comes into the world, and the world comes into him, because he does not know how to deal with the wickedness of this country. This country is sick. It is a degenerate nation. And our founding fathers are ashamed. They are stirred with unhappiness in their grave. You people are halfway decent, but you're not decent enough. You want to find paradise. You want to find the everlasting God, everlasting Father. Do you understand? You have an everlasting Father. Then you have an everlasting person, one that never dies. But you have to pass the test I will come to him in a minute. He's disturbed. But you have to pass, unless the seed falls to the ground. I'm using a scripture, but I'm helping you to understand it because it's just noise. Unless the seed falls to the ground, it cannot be what it should be. It's what it should be is a seed, but then it has the extension, correct? When the seed falls to the ground, it dies. It's no longer a seed, but it's a plant. It's what it's supposed to be. No.
That's what we all have to do. Is that what you're saying? We have to.
But this life is just a short one. You're lucky if you get to 60 today. And if you get to 60 or 70 or 80, the chances are you got past it. But also, if you can get to 60 or 70 or 80, the chances are that you may have found it. But not necessarily. Because time, 80 years, I'm 80, almost 89. And I've been through hell. And everything you can think of, mentally, emotionally, physically. So.
But what you were saying, we have to die first and then
No.
a part of us has to die.
The way you die is the way you die. You understand this? If you react, you cannot serve two masters. You either serve royal masters or god masters, in a manner of speaking. You cannot, if you react at all, it always react to the sin of the world. And you owe your life and you owe your identity to what has caused you to wake up in a wrong way.
Yeah, because the world wants us to respond to.
The world wants you to be subject to this death of your soul.
Yeah, because there's craziness.
The world will cause you to, the spirit of the world, which is covering with, there are exceptions, your exceptions. You're looking for the answer. You may not have it yet, but you'll get it. It may take a while for you to see that you're not you. Are you okay? Why?
I don't know.
Okay? Why?
I'm okay. I don't know why I'm crying. But
It's-
is that emotion though? Is that
No.
Grateful.
I cried last night. Nobody saw me.
So that's a
I
different.
saw America and I had tears in my eyes.
So this is a different type of emotion though.
Yeah, it's not an emotion. It's a relief from emotion.
I can't talk. But it's hard for me to talk
Yeah,
when,
you
I'm, when I'm
see-
emotional. But I mean, well,
It's all bubbling. It's all coming. out.
you're talking about emotion. And I'm saying I'm emotional.
That's all right.
But
That's all right.
yeah, what you said just sort of hit me because it's the truth.
What you had was a crying out. A crying out. See, it's not the same as crying. It's crying out to your Creator. You just heard something, didn't you? You just heard something.
What you said just hit me some way. I don't know.
No, it's de-upsetting. I just made up a word. You're becoming de-upsetted.
Well, I see the world, how
Are
everything.
you okay? You want to ask a question?
I'm a little blank right now. I can't think of anything yet. But
All right. You put your hand up when you're ready. Okay. I will help you. But just listen to what I'm saying and don't try to remember it. Just wait till something happens to you and you see something you didn't see before. Okay? Okay. Just like he did just now. He just.
I do see the world, pulling and like wanting us to react and, with resentment.
Where's a camera person?
Here.
Oh, I don't think that's loud enough.
It's pretty loud. I cranked it way up.
It is all right. Then.
Yeah, I do see the world as everything in the world is it's chaos.
America.
And it's meant for men, it's a
America
message
can't
to
do this.
men to stand up. Because most men are just home, like today, they're watching football games or.
America is degenerate. And we've got two kinds of people. We've got people on the left, Marxist, demoralized, freedom to do wrong, see, freedom to smoke, drink, drug, party. This is what they call life.
Right.
And that has been caused by the schools and
Our culture.
universities and the stinking music that we call music, and the freedom to do wrong and call it right and feel affected and offended for it to be otherwise, like you and me are trying to achieve. So when the media, and I'm going to go after that media every single night, especially as with a growing number of people that are listening, they're beginning to be afraid of me. I challenge them every day. I said, "You're just a bunch of degenerates. You do not understand. I do not have to forgive you. I don't have to love you. I don't have to hate you. I can just see you for what you are." And so you're on the side of perversion. And perversion means that America, you cannot conquer a noble people. You cannot conquer a noble, not possible. You have to demoralize it first. And you are champions of demoralization. And I know how to deal with you. And you don't hear them coming after me anymore. They all shut up. The trouble is, just the other day, I listened to something that is, in a manner of speaking, pseudo-disturbing. I mean, it's not really disturbing me. It comes to my attention that the media are degenerates. And most of the universities are degenerates. And most music is causing and sustaining degeneration. The music does that. It makes you feel happy about being sick. It takes away the pain. The more music you have, the more you forget how improprietous you are.
Yeah, the music makes me sick because I see what it's doing.
But it's done. But the thing is, with the two people, I can't mention their names.
Right.
But the two people fighting to be our next president, and the media has picked on one of them about something about 2005. He was a naughty boy. Okay, maybe he was a naughty boy. Hands up who have not been naughty boys or not a piece of girls. Nobody here. So what about the other one? You know the one we're talking about without me saying it. But what about the other one? Hasn't it? I can't call it a she. I can't call it a she. I can't call it a he. But what? That one is still full of crap. And that one is still evil, lying, twisted, as of now. But they're taking his go back in history. You can go back into history and everybody makes the mistakes. What difference is it? What's important is who you are now. So which one is who he is now? Or who she is now? Tell me which one's the best one. No, the bad person will pick the bad person as good. They have different standards. They vacillate. They'll find any way to find fault. Oh, their own fault. They could love judging other people's faults. Then they're free from their own, so to speak. If they can upset you and demoralize you, but they can't do that to me. No way can they do that to me. And I'm going to challenge them every day. I'm going to make sure that 20 million people are going to be listening if I can. And so there's ways to do this. Already, I'm on my way to the 6 million. It's only 3 weeks. Now I have to cry. It's an excuse to blow my nose. I don't cry otherwise. I cry for my country. That's what I do. I cry for it. I had a little tear in my eye last night. It wasn't much. Oh, that's good. There's another person crying. So, any questions now? Understand that everybody comes into the world innocent. And where did the innocent go? It didn't go anywhere at all. Every person sitting here has a little kid inside them. A little kid, that little kid that used to be intuitive, which still is, but he's in conflict because he's been overcome before he could understand how to overcome, how to use intuitiveness to overcome. In other words, he was disturbed when he came into the world, when he shouldn't have been disturbed. So Jesus was born undisturbable. You understand that? He had that gift. Now, we come into the world, in a sense, so I have to quote a scripture. Therefore shall man leave his mother and father, and become one flesh with a woman. See? And that is the problem we have. But the thing is, when you come into the world as a man or a woman, you come into the world with a woman who intuitively wants the kind of man that Jesus is. The trouble is, she's Eve, and Eve is mischievous. Women are weaker than men, but they have their strengths in temptation. And so the only way they can have in their own mind freedom and happiness, to enjoy the freedom of men that men seem to have, is to seduce him from his freedom, to overcome them with seduction. That is her power. Seduction is a woman's power, that's all she's got. Man is subject to woman, but he's powerful and strong over her, usually. Mm-hmm. You put two men and a woman together, you know who's going to win, generally speaking, unless she's a professional wrestler or something, which is rare. But see, so you got two problems from innocence. The woman a girl comes into the world innocent with intuition, but because she's a woman, she can't help but attract. See? And to have her way. Because that's seduction. And then men, born of woman, are subject to women and not God. So both of them are in line with hell. She is still Eve, and she has the power to overcome Steve. See? And Steve is missing something, and he thinks the woman has it, because she attracts and makes him feel better than he deserves. And that's the end of him. But they're both innocent, deep down inside.
Yeah, they're stuck in that game.
They're stuck in that game. And the suffering of it for each one in their turn, in their desire, whether they have an inclination, disposition. The woman has an inclination to keep on getting more power. Right? And the man keeps on thinking, oh, if she doesn't give me my sex and give me that good feeling I'm looking for to make me feel good, I gotta feel good, I gotta feel good, I gotta feel good like God, and she's gonna give it to me. That's what happens.
Yes, I
And then
watched.
the more he gives, more he tries to get from her, the more she will give, because she can't stop. Because it is her only way to defend herself is to give in. But to give in, some of them are so cunning, so corrupted, that they understand the nature of causing a man to give in, because she becomes more powerful. Many times it will backfire, because she doesn't become more powerful. She's encouraging him to want more with his physical nature to get it. See that? To get it, with no matter what he has to do even to kill her. That's how serious his hunger is to be right. And the women in her way and men in their way. All hell breaks loose. But deep inside, all of you who've had your suffering, you can hear what I'm saying. There's only one ingredient, if I could say it in a sort of domestic way, ingredient. God is not an ingredient, but I don't have another word for it. He's the missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, in the family, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, because I saw
He's
that.
got to be the head of the family, but not force.
Yeah, I saw that with my dad. We went to church, and my parents were fairly decent, but I saw the deterioration, and it troubled me. My dad was
Churches are
weak.
deteriorated.
Yeah,
The wild ones are deteriorated. And all you've got is shock. Right now, half the country is in shock. It's waking up. But it does not know to do with its waking. It does not know how to do with its awakening. It's a kind of awakening. I see it's look what's happening. The kids are snorting and killing and murdering and drinking and partying, and they think that's life. It's a life that leads to death. And it is something that cannot tolerate innocence in people. Cannot to be a prophet, to be a Jesus, you can expect nothing else but contempt. Do you understand that? And cruelty and deception. See, you can be nothing. That's me. That's me. Even members of my own family will try to overcome me. Yes, that's what they're doing. A couple of them are doing that right now. In other words, they want to get above me. They can't tolerate the fact that I'm me. See? That's come from the woman.
oh, that's
That's
the
come
woman's.
from-
The woman's nature is
Yeah,
to rule,
that's her nature, is to nurture. What is she nurturing?
but she's innocent of that because that was
That's why
what.
she's nurturing the kids to work against the husband, unconsciously. Follow?
But that's a spirit working in her.
That's the spirit of the world.
That's the spirit of the world. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
but
what
she-
controls the world.
How does she get that? Because of the failing of the father to deal with the mother. Through the generations. It's all generational. But that doesn't make you guilty
Right.
if it's generational. It's not the Adam and Eve stuff. who did it willfully. So that's the key. Understand that you're not guilty, and that whatever you think of as guilt has never been you. Never been you since you can remember.
Should we feel guilt?
Well, you can feel the guilt, but it isn't your guilt. It's the spirit of paradise lost that's spread through the human race. It's multiplying itself just like God wants to multiply himself by being the everlasting Father. Don't you want an everlasting Father? The will that created the universe or the will of the world? Are you going to be in the world and of it?
I don't want
or
the will
in the
of
world
the
of
world.
not of it?
I don't want.
I'm in the world of not of it. I'm in the world and not of it. And therefore, I'm always under pressure, even from members of your own family want to kill you. In psychological ways, in any way they can. And think not, I have come to bring peace, says Jesus, but the sword. What's he mean by that? He means that virtue doesn't flow in the blood. See? And he says it clearly. The sword means death, basically, so that he says it. I'm just remembering the words. He says, so the Father is if you can remember it better than I can, please help me with it. But the Father is against the father against daughter, a daughter against brother. See, he comes to bring the sword because in every family you're going to find most of them no damn good, but one is the one that still has the intuition and they hate him for it. Are you one of those people? I suggest you are. Correct? How many people are like that? You have a family and they want to destroy you and make you doubt yourself and make you one of them. Can I see how many hands? Yeah. There you are. And you also had it, but you didn't raise your hand because you're better now. Correct? Mm-hmm. That's right. All right.
He needs your help.
Yes, I know he is, but he has to wait. I have to wait for him. I don't push him. See, it's just, what he has is tension, anger, frustration is buried, and he needs a way to let it out. And if he wants to scream at me, I'll be okay with it. Is there anything you've heard mean anything to you? Is there something that you caught?
I enjoy hearing the things that you're talking about, and everything I hear helps me.
Does it help?
In the future, I think to possibly promote
Can you
a
speak?
good
I can't hear you very well. You see.
a good plan for the what.
Why couldn't they be fixed? Oh, we need to have done this. Okay, go ahead. I can't hear. Come and sit next to me.
Okay.
So I can't hear you. Yeah. Just. Yeah. And maybe they can hear you too. They would like to hear you. Hello. But give me your hand. Give me your hand. How are you doing? It's
Just fine.
Pretty sweaty in it.
It's sort of clammy.
I know. Now tell me, what is your trouble?
Probably always being on the move,
How do you mean?
like going from one area to another.
Well, why would you do that? Why?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just after like being well rested, I need to all of a sudden wake up and start walking and not really running, but doing things quickly. And
Can you straighten that out, make it more simple?
I think
For instance, you're,
because my mother doesn't get out of bed all the time.
or your mother.
Yeah,
Who's this lady you're with?
she's my mom.
She's your mom. Okay. Well, how old are you?
I'm 24.
You look a lot older.
Oh, I almost look like I'm 30.
Yeah, about that. You have a problem with your mom?
Just a really small problem, and that's
What is it? Small, but
sometimes she gets upset when I recklessly do things. If I guess,
What does it mean by recklessly? As if I didn't know.
like she thinks I destroy things when I like break stuff.
Do you break stuff?
Um,
You get
When-
angry and break stuff?
Possibly.
But how about certainly?
Maybe only once or twice, certainly, not all the time.
In other words, maybe once every year? Something like that?
Yeah, yeah,
No, but then she...
like a CD player or whatever. But that's
What do you mean
just
by
like
s-
electronic things. Sometimes frustrate me and get me angry.
I didn't hear that.
Like things with batteries, because the batteries drop on the floor, and I can't find them, and I get mad.
Oh, it is like little things upset you,
Mm-hmm.
kind of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but who's the... Do you remember being a little boy?
I remember going on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old with my hand when someone wanted to know how old
But
I
have
was.
you, when did you start to get upset? Can you remember when the very first time you ever got upset? It's memorable.
First time I got upset was when
It made you do something stupid.
my brother bought a loud motorcycle.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've never heard one like that before. And it surprised me.
It surprised you how?
Because I wasn't used to hearing things like that on the street.
Did it frighten you?
It didn't frighten me until I got close to it, and I thought,
Did you
It's-
almost have an accident with it?
I didn't want to
Why did the
sit on it or
motorcycle
anything.
bother you?
Because he didn't say he was going to get one, really.
Well, why would that bother you? Why couldn't he get one without telling you? That's not the problem, really, is it?
For me, it might have been.
It could be a surprise.
Yeah.
Were you jealous?
I was just because I had to wait so long to be able to get one myself.
How old were you when he got his?
Maybe like around 7.
Yes, and how old was he?
I don't know.
He must have been old enough to buy a motorbike.
19.
He's older than you, much older than you.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's silly.
Yeah.
It's really childish.
Uh-huh.
But it's actually not childish because children at 7 years old are smarter than those within 20 years old. I always say that if you go back in time and you get to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, when you're 3 or 4 years old, you're much more smarter than the average psychiatrist and psychologist. Because they sort of stuck in their head. At least scientists make things. But this psychologist has got an idea about stuff. And the little kid could see all that. See? You could see all those things when you were a kid. You had lots of intuition, didn't you?
Even though you weren't really allowed to go very far away from home, you can still see a lot of things.
What was it?
You aren't allowed to. Parents don't like you traveling away by
Yeah.
yourself.
Can you understand what he just said?
Yes.
What?
His parents keep traveling by themselves, and they would leave him. Is that
Oh,
correct?
Yeah, that's another way to
See?
say it.
Oh.
You understand?
Why is it I can't hear that good?
What? I got
I
goated.
think I'm crazy myself. He's next to me. It's a problem with that microphone.
Tell him to speak a little.
No, it's good.
Faster.
No, he needs
He
a little
drags
little
his
bit more loud.
words.
So we're getting somewhere.
Yes.
We're getting somewhere. So what's your mom got to do with all this? Yeah, or is she involved in some way? Where's your dad?
My father passed away almost a year and a half ago.
Was he a good dad?
He was a great dad. He was a great dad, yeah.
And you miss him.
I'm getting over his leaving, but
Let me say something to you.
I do sometimes miss him, but a lot of times I don't think about him.
You know you don't want to think because it upsets you. Correct?
Correct.
Yes. I'm in the same boat as you. Would you like to hear my story?
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
my father died when I was 13 or 14. And he was a good dad, like your dad, right? Okay. And so it's necessary for a dad to be in the house as an authority in the order of God, father, wife, child, right? An order, divine order. So you had the luck of having a good father, correct? And you miss him. Right.
He was
Yes,
only,
but I would like you to to listen to what I have to say. I had the same problem as you, exactly. My father died when he was 42. How old was your father?
67.
Mine was 42, and I was just a kid, and so I had a pain. You had a pain too, didn't you? Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, in my.
Okay. So you know what happened to my pain? One day I was walking in the street soon after he died, and this is important. And the way it happened to me was, I began to walk up behind people that walked like my dad,
Okay.
and hoping that he wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? That's the pain, isn't it? Like that kind of pain.
Okay. Yeah.
And I saw, and all of a sudden it was a stranger. See? But all of a sudden, one day, something said to me, "That's not your dad. I'm the dad of your dad." It didn't say it in words, but it said it clear enough to realize that if I love the dad, I can see. If the spirit is in him, which it must have been.
Mm-hmm.
But my father is not my ultimate father. He loves the ultimate father. And when he was not there, the longing went to the ultimate father in heaven, and therefore freed me. So if you love the Father you can see, you will inherit the Father you cannot see. But what you did is resent somebody for it. Did you not?
I resented the
Give up that resentment.
Okay.
That's how you lost. That's how you lost the purpose of your father. He was a good father, and you lost him. But now you have to grow up to be a father yourself one day. Correct? But
Correct.
you can't get married now. It's hard for you to get married in that state.
Okay.
See? So what
Okay,
you've got,
Yes.
look at me,
All right.
look at me. Do you understand that you can inherit the Father you can see, but you're resenting God for the Father you're lost? Somehow are you being angry with God? Yes or no?
No.
Well, why are you angry? Who are you angry then? Are you angry for your father for dying?
I'm
You have to have an answer to that.
I'm like baffled. I'm like baffled about it.
You see, they could hear me better than you.
Baffled. He's
Surprised
Okay,
too.
baffled.
Still, even though it's so long
No,
ago.
but now we're coming to a point. Please, do the best you can. Why are you angry? Who are you angry? You've got to be angry, but what are you angry about, and who are you angry about?
Myself for spending so much time with him.
Well, how does being angry with yourself help you? Now tell me, where's
It-
the logic?
It
I'm
turns
appealing to
into
your
a.
childlike logic.
It could be turned into a cure for the
You thought
what
that
I'm
anger
going
turns
through.
into a cure?
Maybe.
No, ever. That's the condition you're in.
Yeah.
You got to drop
It could
that.
turn into being passive aggressiveness or something.
Why don't you drop that? Just see how silly that is. Your father is in heaven then, if he's a good one. He's rare, and you miss him. But
True.
but you missed something in your ignorance and your innocence. The ignorance and innocence and dependent on your father, too dependent, because fathers. I'm a father to 5 kids. I let them go. And I let them go. Unless I let them go, they cannot be themselves, true to themselves, to the same God as I have. I can't be their God. I can only serve as I can't find the word for it.
Example.
An example.
Yeah.
It's an example, an extension
That's right.
of him. And I see you running away from this.
He's paying for it.
No, I have no, just listen quietly. I have no respect for that. No respect, because it's, what you have is self-destruction.
All right.
Would you
That
consider?
sounds true.
I don't want you. Your father in heaven, your actual father, would be very disturbed to see you this way. He wants you to let him go and take on the spirit that he had, that you loved in him. Am I correct?
You are correct. Yeah.
Can you stop shaking now?
All right, I can stop shaking.
I know, but you should be able to stop shaking if you it only takes a realization of what I just said. A quiet realization, oh my goodness, what have I done to myself?
Yeah, I'll think about what you're saying.
Okay, you can go sit down now. I don't mean, thank you for speaking to me this way. It needs to sink in. I don't want to pressure you. I just wanted to tell you, that's all. Please consider it. Hello, Mother. Are you okay?
I was listening to your program about a month ago, in the wee hours of the night or the morning, whatever. And this lady had called in and said how she'd like for you to give her an exorcism.
Yes?
And that's what I've been wanting for Christopher. Not that I don't need
Oh,
it
no,
either.
I don't think that's necessary. This is not an exorcism situation.
Oh, because you told her
It is
to get a
just-
plane
it's just-
ticket.
It's just what I'm saying. He loved his dad. And that's important. The most important person, with all due respect to ladies, the most important person in the family is the man. If he's a man. But if he's a woman man, looking for the woman all the time, he's no damn good. There's no man that's any damn good unless he realizes he's no damn good and is searching. and finds out that he's no damn good because he's looking to his wife instead of God for his sense of worth. And so leave him alone. Don't cry for him. Don't cry for him. Don't be sorry for him. You loved your husband, didn't you? Or did you? You hesitated. You didn't.
Yes, no. I mean, I wanted to, but I didn't respect him. He was like overly obsessed with Christopher, but not in a healthy way.
Oh, that's interesting. Please explain.
I hate to put it this way, but I always kind of saw
My father was spoiling him.
Yes,
Your father was spoiling him.
yes,
He's acting like a woman.
yes.
Then he's no damn good.
I mean, it kind of
He's
appeared good, but
lost he's got a codependence.
yes,
That's not healthy.
no,
How dare you come up there and tell me you loved your dad when you're only dependent on him? He spoiled you like a woman. Hey, this makes a big difference. It's like night and day. You're spoiled, he spoiled you. Correct?
exactly.
I trust your mother, not you. Because you're hanging on to him. Let him go. Good riddance to bad rubbish. But you saw him in a different light because you're emotional. He's like your Hitler. He is like your Hitler. He loves your weakness for him. Correct?
You hit the nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head. I knew I'd get it to somewhere. You know, you're not honest with yourself, young man. You could die from this. You're not going to get any, you're just going to be a man. And let your father go. He is not what you thought. Just like Hitler. When the Germans used to say, you can see the Führer only if you're emotionally involved with him. You'll see evil as good. Your father was not good. He was spoiling you. He got a sense of worth. He was controlling you. I have a son like that, and I'm going to have it out with him. He's listening to this program. I'm going to have it out with him. He's done the opposite to me. He's turned it around. Made me, he thinks, is dependent on me. I'm not. I'm not dependent on it. But the point is, these secrets, these simple concepts of misunderstanding everything. He thought his father was good but the Nazis saw Hitler as good. And he saw, those who loved Hitler, seeing him in an emotional state and getting their identity from him, right? You lose your identity, and then you worship him more, and he loves you more, and you worship him more. You got the wrong God.
Like he's doing things his dad used to do. They were involved in a car accident, and like we'd be riding down the road, and he told me how his dad had stuck up his middle finger at the driver, and Christopher does that. You know what
He's
his father
taken on
did.
his father's identity. He's not Christopher.
No.
He isn't Christopher now. He's his dad.
Yes, I see it in
You
him.
stupid person. Look at it and be a man and let it go. And stop pissing everybody's self off. Excuse the expression.
He's doing things like
And
taking.
stop shaking. Stop shaking. Knock it off. Look, you're looking for pity. That's what you're doing. That is a signal. Pity me. Sorry for yourself.
He's like burning his nose and parts of his body with a lighter. You know, he's doing bizarre things.
No, because the anxiety has to be relieved by something that's even more painful, because the anxiety is painful, but pain relieves the anxiety. You'd rather have that pain, and it also has to do with death. Death is better than life. I don't deserve to live. Bang. I get all the pain that makes it go away. That's what leads to death. A voice inside you says, you can't stand this. Life isn't worth living. Why don't you just kill yourself and solve the problem? That's how it talks to you. You're here to find the purpose of your life. And the purpose of your life is to hate your father. Actually, you hated him for leaving you. You didn't love him. You needed him, and he needed you to need him. And that's what Hitler does. He
wanted me to be
rewards
that
you
way.
for needing him.
I couldn't be that way.
I know. Do you follow that? We do. And you wake up. Time to wake up. Close your eyes a minute. Just relax. Let your hand fall down. Not on you. Just let your hand drop. The other one. And close your eyes. And just see. Close your eyes and look at your eyelids. There it is. Look at your eyelids and see little pixels moving across the screen of the mind. There's no thought there, or is the thought there? If there's thoughts, then look at the thoughts. And if you can look at the thoughts, it means there's light on those thoughts. And those thoughts will disappear. That light is coming from your Creator. Those little pixels. Can you see the little pixels going just like a hard drive? The hard drive it's got all kinds of so much information for your computer. It's amazing. Those little pixels is energy that if you... I think you're not following me yet. What do you see when you close your eyes?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Not pixels? Not little flashes of light? Little...
I think so, okay, yeah.
You notice you've stopped...
But it vanished.
Yeah, but look, you notice... Oops! For a minute, for a little while, you stop shaking.
Oh, good.
See that? Close your eyes and look at your eyelids. That's all I want you to do. And when a thought comes into your head, I want you to look at the thought as if light was shining on it. And watch it, and it will dissolve. If you do that, you live. You become aware of the thought. Look, see, it stops shaking. Isn't it strange? Look, see that? And be aware of now put your right hand by your side, like that, and be aware of your first finger of your right. Just be aware of the first finger of your right hand. Just be aware that it's there. Can you be aware of the first finger being there without looking at it? Can you feel the little tingle?
The finger?
Huh? The first finger?
I think so.
Don't move it, just be aware of it. Just be aware that it's there. And it will respond with a little tingle. Tell me if that's the case.
It's very, very little tingle.
Is a tingle?
Mm-hmm.
And then the third, now go to the next finger and see if it tingles.
A little bit more, I think, than the first one.
Does it tingle just a little bit, just by being aware of it? Don't make it happen. Don't make it happen, just be aware. You've got to be aware of something about your body. You've got to start somewhere. Is the second finger tingling now?
No, the third one began.
Okay. Okay.
Mistake, maybe.
Now you do that. Now the next finger, third finger. Does it tingle? Well, just be aware. Just be aware of it. Just be aware of it.
Okay, it's tingling.
Look at me. Open your eyes. Okay. Now follow my finger. See, my hand's a little bit cool. I'm moving it now. I want you to follow the warmth of my hand. Now, as I move it away, your head falls forward. Follow it. Your head should fall forward if you follow this. Follow it. Follow it. Follow it. See it? So your head falls forward.
Mm-hmm.
You follow it. Just know, just so it falls forward. If you follow it, it falls forward, not either side. Follow it. 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 Follow. Follow. Wake up. Okay, be okay.
All right.
Okay. You're not shaking now.
Good.
Now I want you to just, you've heard everything I've said. You're spoiled. And you're codependent on the Father. He no longer exists. And he's not a good father. He destroyed you. And you enjoyed your destruction because you got your identity from him. And you don't have your own identity with your Creator. That's like a living death. I've told you now, you may never hear that again. You may not see me again. You just relax. And just become normal. Let me be the dad. Let me represent the dad that should have talked to you this way, should have talked to you this way, or never would have talked to you that way. So let's undo it, and you be a man, and take care of your mother. She's getting old, and therefore you love her. And you love her with no feeling. You see that she needs help. What can I do, mother? Correct? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? That's manly. I've been married to my wife for 64 years. I take care of her. Take care of your mother. She needs your help. You're a man. She's the man. If she's fortunate, and she'd be okay without you, but still, it would make you a man to say, Mother, if you need some help, come to me for advice. Shall we sell the house or not? Etc., etc. Whatever that is, wouldn't that be nice if you could play the role?
Okay.
Because your mother is not young. See, she's getting old, and you're getting a man. You're becoming a man. And that's what a man does. He's gracious, doesn't expect anything in return. How else would you do it, kind of attitude? I've been 64 years helping my wife to become a real person. It's been difficult, but she's beginning to get better in her old age. I wait, and I wait. I look out for it. She doesn't understand her own problem, but I do. See? You need to understand your mother's problems. Women need the love of a man. There is no man for her. You'd be jealous. You would be ashamed if your mother went out with some other man, wouldn't it, basically? She's not going to do this, I hope. There is no other man for her. The only man in the house is you. So be a man. That's what cure you. Not shaking anymore.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm. Not shaking.
Listen, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
You go sit next to her if you like.
You want me to leave these
Hmm?
tissues here?
Yes, you can take tissues with you. I need some tissues too. Yeah, I see them. This is good too.
The reason we're out here is because back east, my biological atheist sister had called the authorities on me because she felt I should be taking Christopher to psychiatrist and have him on psychotropic drugs.
I think he's a lot better now, don't you see? He's got the truth now.
This is why
We're
I'm,
dealing with truth.
why I'm here. They took me to court for 2 years and took away my guardianship and appointed a state guardianship.
Oh.
And they were trying to get Christopher committed with psychiatrists. And I told the judge I didn't like the drugs, and they felt that it was in the best interest of my son to be on psychotropic drugs. And I said, no way, over my dead body. So I came out here.
Did the right thing. Did the right thing.
Thank you.
Your mother loves you. Let it all go. And stop that nonsense.
You got the microphone stuck in there.
Oh, looking for the,
I thought it was a piece of me. Not yet, she says. Any questions? Any comments? Any understanding about yourself? You see what codependence does. And you see the degree to which the government will, intrude in your life. I have a situation right now. One of my sons wants to say that I'm not able to take care of myself and wants to take a lawsuit so as to take over my everything and sort of take care of me. I mean, look how ridiculous that is. Look how ridiculous that is. But that's willfulness and wickedness. It doesn't care about me. But these are the things you have. Life itself is trials and tribulations. And you never know where it's going to come from any minute. That's why you have to be ready for it any minute. And the only way you can be that way, only way is to find your God and to be still, because that's the only way you're going to know him. But you have to know what still is. You have to know what still is. Be still and know I am God. You will know only when you're still. But what is still? Is it blowing away all the thoughts? Is it mumbling to yourself? Is it like, oh no, home, no place like home? Right? It's none of the above. Every attempt to find whatever it is in peace is going to fail and make you a slave of the system. So every meditation is a hypnotic state, an increased in hypnotic state where you give yourself over to the teacher. I assure you, the teacher is inside you, and it's always been there, and you've doubted it, but the world around you affected you or infected you and made you doubt. A gentleman who's watching Facebook, my Facebook, I said, doubt is upside down faith. And in other words, it has the same power, relative power, means it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, as it does with gooder and gooder and good stuff. I don't know how to say it. But faith has another side to it. It's called doubt. And then this person who responded to Facebook said, well, you see, doubt could be different. It could be that I doubt that this could happen. It's not the same thing. It has to understand the context of the word as is relative to the sentence. See? So we can take the same word and it be different. And love is the same way. You think that love is a need. You think that love is
feeling?
It's a feeling, yes. And it isn't. Love hasn't got a feeling for anything or anybody. It just does things because it's good, and not look for a feeling to feel good for doing good. Because the minute you start to do good to get good, you get got. Because you're going to get a feeling from it. Oh, how wonderful this! He did what? He's such a nice person. I love him. And the minute you start to feel good for doing good, you get a high. And you become dependent on that person giving you to do things for them, to get a feedback of us, to give you a sense that you've done good. It's a certain gratification. But there is no good except you let a whole idea of being good go. And then also people who try to take you, make you doubt. See? Now the word doubt means opposite. It means opposite to faith. But doubt is dark. Not I doubt this, it could happen. It's a different context. You have to understand the word in context. See, so doubt is 100% opposite to faith. And the more you practice doubt, the more powerful the doubt is in killing you. In other words, in the negative, stage 7, 8, 9, 10 of power to infinitum. Okay? Each one travels with the same power to kill or cure.
The world runs on doubt. Is that?
Yes, but
On
you
that-
try to make me doubt, you die.
I won't try to make
Listen
you doubt.
carefully. If you try to make me doubt, you're not doing it.
Right.
But if you are that kind of person, you will die from it. Because I only make me stronger and make you try to make me doubt, and you will keep failing. All I have to do is not listen, or not hear it, and it doesn't touch me, because I'm already touched from within.
Yes, and doubters want to draw you in to an argument.
And I want to draw them into faith by not responding, not reacting, and letting the person try to make me doubt and fail. That's all I need to do. So it doesn't arouse any emotion in me to control me and take my identity away from God. Transfer it to that person. So I become the extension of him. That's all he wants.
And that's living by intuition.
Everybody. Nobody succeeds. Jesus never did. What was his last words when he cried out? He wasn't crying. He was just saying, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." The kind of people who are full of doubt and try to make me doubt, or you doubt, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not him. I'm him. I'm what I should be. And he isn't what he shouldn't be. So it is important that you don't pay attention to your authorities. Authorities over people are not authorities. They're killers of innocence.
You stand, Ted. Can't see you. There you go.
Want me to stand?
Just step back there. Just
Doubt. I'm dealing with I think there's a good kind of doubt.
Well, no.
Well, can I?
No, there's a good kind of doubt. Yes, but you're just playing with the word.
No,
You
no,
don't wanna do
no,
it, but
no.
let me hear you then first.
Okay, so I'm dealing with a person, I don't want to name
Yeah.
who he is, and I can see, I mean, I see it very clearly, he's very, very self-deceived. Somewhat, this young man, he thought he
Yeah, so
loved his father.
so how
And I think the right thing for me to do is when I have the intuition, when it comes to me to see it, is to make him doubt himself about what he is. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, that you can use it that way.
Yeah, in other words, to tell him the
In
truth,
other
not
words-
so much,
In other words, you're saying doubt.
yes, no, what I'm really saying is that,
Well, it's- yes.
what I'm really saying is that I feel like when it's intuitive and when God gives it to me to say, to tell him the truth, which will have the effect of making him doubt himself the way he is.
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
That's correct.
So it is a good doubt. There is a good doubt.
Well, but by doubting doubt. No,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
point is-
okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
The point
yeah.
is, you have to doubt yourself. You can't involve me in that. You have to doubt. My job is to get you to doubt.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe not too well, but that's what I'm saying.
It's fun playing with words, isn't it?
Isn't that like reverse psychology?
I don't think psychology is
In there.
is really anything that's worthwhile discussing.
I was using that as an example of a reverse psychology, of reversing the
Oh,
doubt.
yeah. Well, it's simple. It's obviously different from anything you've ever heard. And maybe you've never heard of this before, but I'm trying to explain it. And you have the intuitive word understanding of what I mean. See, because people can actually look at doubt and say, well, you can doubt this and you can doubt, and they'll play with you. And there's another kind of doubt. Like there's also two kinds of love. One is real and one is not.
I thought of a good example.
Oh, good Lord.
So
I'm done.
So this person thought of himself as
You can't do that to me. You're
This
going
person-
into a deep sleep.
this person thought of himself as a born again Christian.
Okay.
And I look at him and I see how he lives, and I see how he gets upset with people, how he gets irritated over little things.
Okay.
And I know, well, he's not a born again Christian. I can see it. So I tell him, and hopefully with the effect that it could make him doubt the doubt that's convincing him that he's something that he's not.
I'm still not following you, though. Well, keep going.
Well, it's just an example. It's
No,
it's just an example of.
Finish it.
Well, that's all. I think I'm finished. I've said that I think that there's.
So just give me an example.
just
I
gave
didn't
you.
get an example.
I thought that was a good example.
No, you haven't. I don't see the example. You're
Well,
just telling me something.
well, no, I'm trying to get him, not trying
you
to get him,
can't-
I'm just trying to tell him the truth, which should have the effect of
Hold it,
making
you're
him.
going to be played with words here. You can't try, but you can't try. There's no trying. There is the absence of trying. You see, you've got to be very careful of this. I do not try.
Yes, I
I
understand.
can't try. I don't need to try because I'm an agent. I'm an agent,
Yes.
so I can't help myself. I cannot help but do good. I cannot do bad. I don't know how to do bad. I only know that the moment I don't know what the moment will bring. I'm not prepared for the moment. Never prepared for the moment because I don't know what the moment's going to bring. So there's no point in being prepared for anything. Because you can't tell what's going to happen next. But you have to be prepared not to be upset by anything, and therefore hold your ground. Hold your ground of no feelings, as if he was talking to a wall. But you're not a wall.
You cannot make a conscious effort. It's got to come from you
It
at the
has to
moment.
Oh,
Yep.
people will say, "How did you do that?" I said, "What?" Well, how did you make that happen?
Yeah.
See, I said, I don't know. Oh, I don't know how it works.
I wanted to
I
go.
can't tell you how it works.
Yeah.
It works. It's a gift. It's a gift to be. I mean, you have some kids who know how to multiply in their head most difficult mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
And the days of the week and the month and the years and the minutes of the moment.
Yeah.
No, I'm one of those weird creatures that knows without knowing why I know. And before I know it, I've said it, I've done it, and it always works out. Always works for good, even if it looks bad.
A lot of times with people, your attitude, if they can't bring you down, in other words, and you're still
No,
who you
the
are,
magic is,
they
why
doubt
is it-
themselves.
Why is it they can't pull you down? Because you've suffered enough from being pulled down.
Yeah.
You've now learned to be pulled up.
Yeah.
And you love that, and you will not let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And you will not try to figure this or that.
No.
It will come as it will, and it knows the moment where the story of yours continues into heaven. See?
Yeah. You can't plan it. One thing
I'm not smart, see?
yeah.
All my my language is getting, as I get older, it's not old age, basically, that my vocabulary is disappearing. I have expressed myself fairly well, I think, today, but it's only with 800 words. I only need 800 words. I don't need all that knowledge. I only need 800 words to express myself, but then I don't need any words at all to see, I see that, I see that, oh, I see that, oh, I never saw that before, and I can see all the things you don't see, and that's my new world. I have a whole world that you know nothing about.
No, and we need each other to see what we don't see about ourselves. That's what makes
Yes, it takes one
human-
to know one.
yeah. But
And that's the reason I can help you.
Yeah.
That's the
'Cause-
reason why you're getting better.
Yeah, if we didn't have other people around us, we'd be narrow vision in a sense. And we wouldn't see.
I'm pretty narrow
Yeah.
vision. I've
Yeah.
only got one vision, and that's just knowing what I know without knowing why I know it.
Yeah.
I mean, how else can I say it?
Yeah, well, you know, I look back on my life and I see what he's gone through
Look how
because
easy it is.
yeah,
Look how easy. It's beautiful. I never have to do anything except what I'm told. But in your world, you can't help but be conforming and do everything wrong and try to fix your wrong.
it makes it worse.
Who are you to try to fix yourself? You don't know how you got here, except
No.
by a sperm.
Yeah,
That's about the only thing you know about anything. And the sperm didn't know what it think it was doing. It didn't have a life.
it's just it was programmed. I wanted to bring
This is
up.
a grown-up sperm.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up something that you were talking about. When you were talking with this young man here, it reminded me of something when I was growing up with my mother.
You mean to say you're a grown-up sperm?
No. When I was in my early teens, I was afraid to go into a store and talk to people. And I remember my mom, we'd go to the McDonald's. This is my early teens, so I was a pretty messed up teenager.
I can tell it.
And yeah, and she would go in there and buy the stuff for me. And so what it was she was getting in the way of God. In other words, she wasn't allowing me to make my steps and develop my character. And so that's what parents do. And it's like, they don't realize it. They feel good about what they're doing, but it delays the person's development.
It's old stuff.
I know.
What is important is the new stuff. Now, what have you learned? Nothing. That's good. I didn't teach you anything. I just reminded you of what you always had. See, and don't trust thoughts. Those thoughts have been put in by spoken words. There's nothing. You do understand spoken words, but you don't want to be motivated by them, and the feelings behind it, the motives behind it. That's all. All I hear is when somebody's yelling at me, screaming at me, and wanting to fight me, and playing little games. I just watch, and 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 watch. See? And do nothing. If you do nothing right, you do nothing wrong, you never do something right. I know, I got it mixed up. If you do nothing right,
You can do nothing wrong.
you can't do nothing right. No, that's wrong either. I'll have to figure that one out again. I invented it, now I have to reinvent it. Anyway, it's so difficult. I don't know many people who can talk the way I do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't know what the situation is. You can't possibly. Intuition. It's all intuition. Sometimes you don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, leave it alone. A situation comes along and it's perilous. You don't know what to do. But you mustn't be disturbed to try to know what to do. And it will come to you. And if it doesn't come to you, it will have a strange effect on that which is trying to do it, which you don't understand, which you may never understand, and it will just bypass you. You get a sort of a surprise. It's like a surprise. And the surprise aspect of what I just mentioned can be anything. Now, I'm going to tell you a story which I've told you before, but I think it's inappropriate to discuss this because there's nothing God can't do. Correct? If He made the universe, and He made us, and He made little sperms, and whatever else is the partner of that. I mean, things that don't have any consciousness at all. Grows into a human being who's conscious and knows it exists, but the sperm doesn't know it exists. How the hell do they know what it's doing? And it seems to be work for caterpillars and everything. It doesn't matter. You can't get rid of it. It's so powerful. If it doesn't succeed in one form, it will succeed in another form. It never stops. Life cannot stop it. You could put a nuclear bomb on it, and 1,000 years later, everything will be popping up again, and time doesn't mean anything because there's nobody left to have experienced time. If you talk about 1 trillion years, God knows how many years that you can go back. Were you there? Did you have the feeling of 1 trillion years of whatever has made the universe? It's only when you come to the understanding of time do you have a sense of time and existence and the end of time. As for you, time goes on forever. See? And so you're living in that time, but what about what's timeless? What created time? Some intelligent thing created time. An intelligent being gave you some time to find who creates time and the things that evolve from that. What can evolve from that in you is a timeless life. And you've got just enough time to do everything the way intuitiveness just tells you. And it doesn't cost much. Become perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. That doesn't mean to say you become perfect. It's only perfect moments. So in other words, you have to have Him in you waiting for the imperfect moment. See? And then things happen. And you may not know that's happening. You may not know that people are planning against you. And you don't have to know, because they all of a sudden they start to feel weird. And everything goes wrong with the things they intend to do, and you don't even know it's happening.
And it's all a gift.
It's all a gift.
You can't.
Does this make you feel better? Or is it real? I'm just making you feel better. No, I don't want to make you feel better, but it's okay just for today.
Mr. Masters, years ago, I had an experience, and
Can you stand up? You're pretty.
sure, thank you. Years ago, I
The
had
others who
a,
stay back.
I'm not going to take that compliment. It means nothing to me. I felt nothing. Years ago, I had an experience where I was watching my children play on the floor. I was talking on the phone,
Yes.
totally out of nowhere. Inside my mind became pure white. Absolutely this, I don't even know how to express it, but I could tell that it was a timelessness of nothing, just for everything. It was like eternity. And if I was a car, you know, the light would actually beam out of my eyes. It was so bright. It was just the whitest white, bright. And it was inside my whole mind. It lasted for several minutes to where I could actually observe it going on, and then it went away.
No,
So,
it didn't. No, it didn't.
well,
You got used to it.
really?
I see it. You have it. I know you. I've known you for years.
You have? I've
You
hung
see-
around.
and you're not. You're still the new you.
But when I, you know, when
Listen,
I'm,
I'm looking through my eyes at you. You're looking through your eyes through me. That's all there is to it. You're looking through your eyes.
I do.
In other words, the light is coming this way, and ordinary light comes this way. The animals don't have this way. They only have that way. The sun, the light, the moon.
really? Well, it's kind of like normal for me, you know, but I do.
But yes,
It's like
you're
when
used to it. You're used to it. That you don't know you have it.
when I describe, you know, how I see things and stuff, it's like
You
I'm
can't
looking
describe it.
out of my window,
That's
you know.
correct. But you got it. Now you got used to it. If
Oh
you
my
go,
gosh.
listen, if you go to Honolulu, see, and you see all of the palm trees, you never see the beautiful, never seen these things before. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Then you get there, you get used to it. You don't notice it anymore. So the good things you don't notice either.
You mentioned a long time
You don't
ago about
notice you're good.
your nose clicking, you know, when you're talking and stuff, and
Yeah.
that kind of comes and goes.
Yes,
It's kind of odd how these things just,
don't worry about it. You're free.
I feel really good. I'm happy all the
No,
time.
But the average person, the person you're speaking about, there used to be, the light didn't shine out of your eyes. See, when I look at somebody, it has an effect. And the energy of my body is not the same as the energy in the average person's emotional. I don't have any emotion except the emotion is restricted to not feelings from the outside. The emotions, if I have it, which I'm sure I do, originates from the inside and flows out, but not from the world, but from who created the world. It's a big difference. Do you see that? The world can flow into you and change you, but that causes conflict with what is meant otherwise. And so therefore we call this the light. We're human beings. We think. We're born into cultures, and cultures get into us, and it's what it should be, because we need, how can I say this? This is what I'm going to try to say this. You might hold on to that for a second. You may want to hold on to this just for a second,
Okay.
because you may have some comment. But I'm just losing the point because it's so sensitive.
Cultures get into
Huh?
us. Cultures get into us.
Yes, no, it's further than that. It's about the light. And if you can see a thought, the light shines on it. And if the thought that comes up is usually not your thought, but it could be a bad thought, just to make a point. And it's a disturbing thought, it's a reoccurring thought, and a worrying thought, and a thought that you think you have to figure out for yourself. But when you look at thoughts with a light on it, all that goes away and disappears, and the light continues to travel through where the emotions would travel into you, travels outward, harmless to you, harmful to a person, or redeeming to the person, depending on what kind of person they are. So they will, anybody who wants to hurt you, secretly or overtly, will die a very terrible death. Now, how am I going to use this? Because I am sort of isolated from the world. I'm sitting at home, okay? I'm not seeing many people. People are hearing me, but just recently, a Drudge Report video came out. It appeared from nowhere with me talking to Drudge and Drudge talking to me. And it came as a magical surprise. Wendy says we may have it, but it appeared on the internet as a small part of my discussion with, an hour discussion with, in 1999. And he let me say what I'm surprised my own self that I said. Literally surprised at what I heard myself saying. And it's so to the point that you will get everything you ever need to know in 1 minute. And so, let me slow down, because this is a very important thing. If you go to the website, not the website, Facebook, and the first thing you see is me or Drudge talking to me and giving him some answers. That takes 1 minute and a few seconds. In that 1 minute, a few seconds, I'm almost into 6 million people listening right now in the last 3 weeks. I'm putting money into it so I get 20 million. But this is happening. I am, if I may say so, an expert in mind control. I understood, like Jesus understood it, didn't he? He understood the games that they're playing. He had the power to reflect it and to stand in front of that woman who was going to be showered with hot stones, right? He could have had those stones thrown at him, right? But it never happened. He stood there quietly, and everyone about to kill this person. He could have got killed as an ordinary person. An ordinary person wouldn't do anything about that. They'd get murdered. They'd be stoned to death. He controlled that group quietly. And they all dropped their stones, beginning with the oldest one, because he was the most degenerate of all of them, right? Most guilty. Mm-hmm. He works on the guilt by his presence. So 1 minute of that discussion does two things. I notice 50% don't want to see it. Shock. It's too late. It's too late. Because they heard the truth. Pure and simple. So pure and simple, it does two things. It shocks you, and it takes away your power. It upsets the person, and the upset person has two choices as of that moment. By being angry with what I'm saying, which is the absolute truth. Absolute. No, but absolute truth. That there's other absolute truths, but this is the granddaddy of them all. What I'm saying, and the miracle of it is that it was on the web. All of a sudden appears. Okay. So I didn't know we had. Wendy was telling me just now. We have that copy of it, but there's no guarantee that it's a video. And if it's a video, I didn't know I had it. It's not likely to be by itself somewhere on that. So that's how I got it. In that moment, and we're going to repeat, anybody who's listening to us today will turn it off right away quickly. Just like that. Too late. Why too late? Because they heard it. Nice and clear from a person who is nice and clear. See? That's very rare. You can talk all about truths, but you have to be truthful, full of truth, and not know you have it.
Is that because it comes from a timeless place?
It's coming from a timeless place at that moment. And that timeless video is timeless.
Right.
It has the spoken word. It has the explanation. And the explanation is shocking. It is shocking. It gets some people to say, wow, that's wonderful. I feel free. And the other one, ah. See, that's what's happening. But I got to them. They didn't get to me. I got to them. Whatever is in me got to them. Everyone, within seconds. You grasp these things in seconds too. Today, I've gone further than I have before. And so, here is the outcome. Is what I just said evil? Is it destructive or constructive? It is constructive to a good person who needs to see, and what a relief. Like that. The other one is a different story. He or she will react to that. Instead of me reacting to them, they're reacting to me. And they're reacting to me with the energy of good. And it penetrates them. And they will and if they hate it and keep hating it, they can't stop hating it, the truth will kill them 10 times farther than in any ordinary situation would do. 10, 20 times farther. They drop dead. I can tell you stories where somebody did things to my wife. Someone did things to my wife that weren't good. And I said, Anne, watch. Am I right, Anne?
That's true.
Yes. Within a month or two, he had to be taken to hospital. His sidekick has lost his eyes, and he's sitting in a wheelchair to this day. I didn't have to do anything at all. And I know hundreds of people like that. But you can't accuse me of anything, because all I want to do is do good for you, and you hate the good. And if you hate the good, you lost your opportunity. But there is another side to that. He could wake up and say, wait a minute, why am I hating Roy? Why did I hate that? He's telling me the truth. Recovers. These two didn't recover. They're as good as dead. Nobody. I've got to a point in my life that you can't do anything to me without it backfiring. I have a son. He's playing against me right now. I just mentioned it. I won't shed a tear if he drops dead. Simple. I welcome him. If he says, Dad, I'm sorry. That's how it works. No feeling. It is what it is.
It's true.
Like Popeye the same, but I am what I am.
I understand that. I mentioned my son the last time I was here. Our relationship has gone south. And people, my sister, well, aren't you worried about him or something? Or don't you miss him or something? And I say, no, I don't miss him. He's got his life. He's doing what he's going to do. I'm not a part of any
You're
of that.
free.
I am free.
Use the word free from other people's influence, which is emotional.
That's right.
You do not have the emotion, but you have motion from God, not emotion. So let's make it sensible. Emotion is the emotion from you, but motion, what creates the universe, that is what's in you, and nobody can fight it. Nobody can win. Nobody.
That's what my daughter says.
Nobody can win this. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I do not know how it's going to happen to them. But listen carefully. You ask my daughter. She was accused that she had a business relationship and the man cheated her terribly and then took her to court. And so she put me on the phone. And I said, if you do this to my daughter, you will die. That is the first time my daughter understood what I was saying. So they go down, and they had to go all the way down to Houston from here to court and everything. And he kind of won to some degree. I forget the outcome. But a few days later, he had to go to hospital for something. Oh yes, he cut his finger or something. And they took him to hospital and he died, just from a cut on the finger. As simple as that. And my daughters watched that over the years. Jesus, what happened to, who was it, hang himself? Judas.
Judas.
Do you think he cared? He didn't even mention it. He just killed himself. Why? He's done with it. Look at the tree. Look at the olive tree. Not the olive tree. The fig tree. Now listen carefully so you understand this. Jesus is trying to tell you, if you mess around with my kids, you're going to die. That's clear. So he stops by a tree, a fig tree, that only had leaves on it. Correct? So far, so good. And then he saw that there was no figs on the tree, and he cursed the tree. Right?
I could sit down now.
Yeah.
I want to listen to what you have to say.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. Okay. So then we'll finish my program today. Now, when they passed the tree again, it had shriveled up, and the disciples said, "How can this be? Why did you curse the tree?" Now, don't you think Jesus understood what he was doing? He picked a tree which has been picked. So he had to have an example, correct? So you see what I'm doing? He instead of using a human being, why would he use a human being to be an example for that? Because that's murder, correct? So he did it to a tree. See, and the apostles were astonished. It's physical. This man is physically affects. He can wake the dead. He can cause an olive tree to crumble into nothing. That's what he's trying to say. If you find your God, your life, even if they kill you, horrible things will happen to them. It doesn't matter, because they kill you, your purpose is over. You've got to hold your ground to the very end. I'll tell you one more story. And this is a modern story. It could be, not true, but I believe it is true. So during the World War II, the Allies found a concentration camp with the bodies lying around and skeletons walking around. But there was one man that looked perfectly normal. And they said to him, "How long have you been here?" He says, 5 years. I said, "Why are you not looking like these people?" He says, "I don't really know. But when I was in Warsaw or Helsinki," it used to come from that country, okay. He says, "The Germans came and killed 4 of my daughters in front of me. And something rose up inside me called anger. And something said to me, don't be angry, see, or else you die, see." And so the anger stopped. Fast forward. He says, "That's all I know." Then there's a child missing in the forest. And it's been 3 or 4 weeks and couldn't find him. And one day they found him and he was perfectly normal. How is that? He only thought it was just a day. And today, that day stood him good for all those other days in some miraculous way. And no one could figure that out. Now do you beginning to understand the importance of not being upset and only having one Father? See, you got 2 choices, and the 2 choices are oh dear, it's slipped from my. You cannot serve 2 masters. You react to one or the other. That's all it's to. Choose one. Yes.
And that is a gift and a matter of grace, correct? That you can't.
It is something you cannot ever explain. I'm almost 89 years old. I have had everything done to me that you could possibly do and not be dead. And there's moments, and I can remember where death was near. It just went away. I can't tell you all the stories. I do not know how I survived this, but it was my journey. As like Jesus' journey, I had to go through the medical system. A man who says, "Hey, your mind can keep you well," and all of a sudden he's not well himself. Yes, I had to suffer all that, didn't I? But reputation, and plus that with media, right? That's okay, because I learned and understood that if you feel better and you don't get morbid, if you get a little better, you don't feel good. You just watch the process and not try to fix it yourself. Just watch. Even your own self will get better. And you baffle the lawyers, the doctors. Because in the whole journey, except for one point, where I had a heart operation and it failed, and I grew new arteries, brand new, they're still working. 110/60. See. So it comes back. Prostate grew back, regenerated completely. Hey, go figure it. I don't. You don't figure it. There's no need for it. Just live a life of faith. That's all. Your sicknesses will. You may. All the interesting things. If you look back at the medical history, they can't find anything at any time on the way. But then they had to do things to me that made things worse. I was okay. And then it got better. It's a long story. So here I am, sharing with you. Everything can be fixed, but you can't. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you.
God bless you. And don't forget to support my program. Help me get to 20 million people, because I know how to change the future. And for this, I was born. Thank you.